Welcome, tech enthusiasts and future AI overlords. You're listening to Mapping the AI Frontier, where we navigate the treacherous waters of GenAI startups without capsizing our sense of humor.
That's right, Mark. We're like the GPS of the AI world. But instead of recalculating every 5 seconds, we just make witty remarks and hope for the best.
Speaking of hoping for the best, today we're tackling a topic that keeps many a startup founder up at night, tossing and turning like a neural network trying to make sense of cat memes, scalability challenges, and solutions. Let's kick things off with technical scalability challenges. Tom, imagine your AI is the hottest new DJ at the club. At first, it's spinning tracks for a small crowd, but suddenly it goes viral. How does it handle a stadium full of data-hungry ravers?
Well, Mark, it's like trying to upgrade from a pair of iPod earbuds to a full-blown concert sound system overnight. You've got to transition from single-instance models to distributed computing architectures. It's less one-man band and more AI orchestra.
Absolutely, and let's not forget about data storage. It's like trying to fit an elephant into a Mini Cooper. At some point, you've got to trade in for a cloud-based, distributed storage solution. Think of it as renting a whole parking lot for your data elephants. Now, Mark, let's talk about the human side of scaling. It's not just about beefing up your servers. You've got to beef up your team too. And let me tell you, herding cats might be easier than scaling a startup team.
Oh, absolutely. It's like going from a garage band where everyone plays every instrument to a full symphony orchestra. Suddenly, you need a conductor, section leaders, and someone to politely ask the timpani player to tone it down a bit.
Exactly. And don't forget about customer support. It's all fun and games until your chatbot starts giving dating advice instead of tech support. That's when you know it's time to bring in the human cavalry. Now let's talk money, honey. Scaling a GenAI startup is like trying to fuel a rocket ship with pocket change. At some point, you're going to need a bigger piggy bank.
Too true, Mark. And here's where it gets tricky. As you scale, your computing costs can skyrocket faster than a SpaceX launch. Suddenly, your clever AI that was sipping processing power like a fine wine is now chugging it like a frat boy at a keg party.
Ouch. So what's a poor startup to do? Sell a kidney? Auction off the office ping pong table?
Well, before we resort to organ donation, let's consider some less drastic measures. You might need to optimize your algorithms, shop around for cloud providers, or even consider building your own infrastructure if you're feeling particularly masochistic.
Last but not least, let's talk about market scalability. It's like trying to turn your local lemonade stand into a global beverage empire. Suddenly, you're not just worried about the neighbor's dog knocking over your stand, but international trade agreements and cultural preferences for citrus-based beverages.
Absolutely, Mark. And let's not forget about regulations. One day, you're happily crunching numbers in your basement, and the next, you're trying to decipher GDPR like it's some sort of ancient prophecy.
Oh, the joys of international expansion. It's all fun and games until you realize your AI's sense of humor doesn't translate well in certain cultures. Suddenly, your chatbot is causing diplomatic incidents left and right. Now, Tom, I know you're itching to talk about Wardley Maps. It's like you've got a cartography crush or something. Care to enlighten our listeners on how these magical maps can help navigate the scalability labyrinth?
Oh, Mark, you know me so well. Wardley Maps are like the Swiss Army knife of strategy tools, but instead of a tiny scissors and a toothpick, you get visibility and foresight. Let's break it down using our GenAI startup scalability challenges.
All right, Mapmaster, lead the way.
Picture this. On our Wardley Map, we've got our AI models, data storage, and computing infrastructure plotted out. We can see that our proprietary AI model is in the custom-built phase, which is great for impressing VCs, but not so great for scaling. This visual cue tells us we need to evolve towards a more standardized, scalable architecture.
So, it's like seeing that we're still using a hand-crank ice cream maker when we need to be thinking about industrial scale production?
Exactly. And when we look at the operational side, we might see our customer support component shifting from Genesis to custom-built. This signals that it's time to implement knowledge management systems and standardized processes before we drown in a sea of support tickets.
Fascinating. And I suppose our financial components would be on there too.
You bet! We can map out our revenue streams, cost structures, and funding sources. This helps us visualize the relationship between our technical infrastructure and our costs, identifying opportunities for optimization. It's like having a financial crystal ball, but with less mystical mumbo-jumbo and more data-driven insights.
And let me guess, we can also map out our market expansion plans?
Absolutely. We can plot our target markets, customer segments, and even regulatory environments. This helps us maintain that delicate balance between broadening our appeal and staying true to our core value proposition. It's like planning a world tour for your garage band, without forgetting your roots.
Tom, I've got to hand it to you. These Wardley maps sound like the GPS we've been missing on our scalability road trip. No more taking wrong turns into the valley of burning cash or getting stuck in the swamp of technical debt. Well, folks, we've navigated the treacherous waters of GenAI startup scalability, from technical tsunamis to operational earthquakes, financial firestorms to market maelstroms. And through it all, we've seen how Wardley Maps can be our trusty compass.
Indeed, Mark. Remember, scaling isn't just about getting bigger. It's about growing smarter. It's less, honey, I blew up the kid, and more, honey, I strategically expanded our market presence while optimizing operational efficiency.
And on that note, dear listeners, it's time for us to scale our way out of here. Don't forget to check out our show notes for more resources, including a link to the Wardley map we discussed. Until next time, keep mapping, keep scaling, and whatever you do, don't let your AI models develop a taste for world domination.